Videos from Hello Yasin, and it's titled "This Streamer Bad." I don't know. It's got neon pointed at it, so yeah.
You ever see a level of view botting that is so egregious? You're like, man, you're really doing this in front of people's face. It's like when the steroid era was going on in baseball, and you got someone right in the locker room about to do an interview, and you've just got like needles on the ground. And you're like, damn, dog, like at least do this behind closed doors. Go to the doctor's office or something like that. Well, that's what's going on, or what Neon is being accused of. And this started in part by another streamer by the name of Action Man. This guy, Action Man, has been on a tirade against streamers and view botting, and he has taken into his line of sight none other than Neon. So Action Man, he first started off as a Fortnite streamer in the Fortnite community, and then he started doing more IRL stuff. He somewhat does gambling and IRL. He is one hell of a character. I mean, this guy is, he's crazy. He used to be, I think he's been in jail before. He was like a heroin addict near O Block, or lived right next to O Block for many, many years. I've met the guy before. I don't have anything to say about him negatively, to be honest. He was a nice enough guy, but yeah, the person that he is on stream, he's not any different off of stream. He is identical to that. And the only thing on his mind is being a better, bigger, more entertaining streamer, and he takes this very seriously. So he goes and says, wakes up in cold Adderall sweat, shaking and scared. Turns out I was having a nightmare. The nightmare was this new Neon stat sheet. Take a seat, all the Neon fans, because this one is going to be hard to defend. Once again, nobody at Twitch says anything, streamers included, because they are so institutionalized to letting this prick do this every single day they have given up. I think he has the right to call out Twitch in this, because Twitch said they're trying to tackle the view botting issue, but streamers, I just think, don't pay attention to Neon. Like he even said that he doesn't get invited to their events. He's kind of out of their world. He's partially doing his own thing, which I do have a level of respect for, and I like how he's reformed, because maybe a year or two ago, I talked about him, and I said, like, yo, this guy's, it might have been 2 years ago, I said, this guy is the worst streamer ever, like, the worst example ever, just absolute, like, the levels of shamelessness and just terrible behavior out of him even had me appalled, which is, it's very difficult to do. So I think other streamers just aren't paying attention to him and don't want to give him any attention whatsoever. So I don't even think they know his view count. And he says, well, I'm not leaving. Why is everyone letting this clown embarrass every person who's ever streamed ever daily? We won't know. So in this graph, we have Neon going from 45k viewers to 34k viewers within 10 effing seconds. And then we have him sitting at 34k for 1 hour exactly, and then within 10 seconds shoots from 34k to 45k. And then goes from 46k back to 33k within 4 seconds. So thanks for tuning into this episode of Neon is that thing in between women's legs. I'm still on a brutal Adderall come down, so I'll probably stay up. Have a great night, everyone. And then he shows this chart, which is egregious. So the green chart is the viewer count. And the x-axis, which is the one that goes side by side, we don't know, maybe there are some uneducated people here, is the amount of time that he was live. So he spikes from 0 to like 45k immediately, which is very, very uncommon, by the way. And then he has a big down drop of about 10,000 viewers and then spikes another 10,000, which is very, very odd. But I don't think this is enough. However, another streamer decided to call him out, none other than Asmongold. So I'm going to play you guys that clip from Asmongold, who is one of the biggest streamers on the platform, naturally, or organically, if you want to call it that. Real viewers, let's just say that.
Viewers. And he only had, I think it was like 1,000 or 2,000 chatters or something like that. And yeah, let me see if I can pull up his Twitch channel and show you guys this. This is crazy. Let me see. Oh, it's in 3.0 on. Okay. In 3.0 on. So if you look at this and pull it up, average viewers, 20,000 average viewers, 31,000 average viewers. That's a lot of people watching, by the way. That's massive. And so if you look at some of these streams right here, no, this isn't the right one. Let me see if I can find it. And some of these, it's just that instantaneous, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? You're gonna hit. You're hitting 40,000 viewers in 10 minutes, man. Like, look at this. This is like this is like a machine. Well, I guess it is. What do you hit in 10 minutes? I don't know, maybe a little bit over 10,000 viewers, something like that, right? It's just not just bots. Yeah. People all over the world watching us on their different time zones. Well, what I'm saying is that nobody has a graph like this. Nobody goes from 0 to 38,000 viewers within 5 minutes, and then within 1 hour is at the same amount, right? It's just not. It's obviously viewbotting. So what I find to be very funny about this is, like, with Twitch trying to like stop viewbotting, etc. They're not even able to do it. They can't even stop it happening. So you have obvious viewbotters on the platform, and nothing is even happening to them.
Okay.
Meanwhile, you have Queso Mipe. That's real. Queso doesn't have that happen. That's not what happens at all. You're not going to see drops and increases like this on Queso's stream at all. And so, no, and you can look at anybody else. But, yeah, it's funny to me that they've effectively handicapped all of these small streamers, but they still can't manage to get the most obvious viewbotters.
Asmongold is right here. I feel like if you've been on Twitch for long enough, you have a sixth sense of what viewers are real, what viewers aren't real, or, yeah, which streamers have a real view count. Just off of looking at Neon's live stream, I clicked on it the other day because I was like, dude, this guy's got 36K viewers, and
Damn.
It's like the FaZe guys who are having their own subathon, which I'm not the audience for. The Kai Cenat's Mafiathon, I actually checked out a couple of streams from that towards the end. It was really great. Like, shout out to him.
Type stuff.
But for like a FaZe subathon, especially off the back of a Kai Cenat, I'm like, eh. And I mean, most of those FaZe guys, I don't even. We're not going to turn this into a side tangent. Back to the point.
Yeah.
So I look at Neon and I see the way that the chat moves, and I see how certain people appear multiple times in one frame, as in one space that the rectangle fits. I'm like, this can't be real. This is maximum 4,000 viewers type of chat. But hey, maybe some people are watching on mobile, this and that. You can make a bunch of different excuses, right? But what I think is important is to try to look at the data. Now, Action Man responded to Asmongold, and he said the following. The man himself said it. Today, Asmongold joined the battlefield on calling out the biggest cheater in streaming history. Nobody over a few thousand viewers has a 100% accurate view count.
Yo, they're
Neon
calling
is
him
botting
bot
over
in
35
history.
to 40,000 a stream, depending on the day. Twitch, you guys shadow ban the small streamers. I don't think Twitch does that. But let him do this every day so blatantly. If you were a streamer on Twitch, you should like, comment, and repost this so they can do something about it. He's taking money out of your mouth, and you should be outraged. I do think people should be outraged. But I decided to, let me just run some numbers of my own, do some data digging of my own, and do some comparisons on my own. So Neon only recently got unbanned on Twitch, right? Like within the past 3 months or so, which means that he was absent from Twitch for years, where he was just mainly on Kick, and people believe that he was heavily viewbotting on Kick, 20,000 plus almost every stream. It was very, very odd. Keep in mind, a couple of years ago, people were saying that it was Kane, his former manager, that was viewbotting for him. Kane hasn't been with this guy for a while. His numbers still look egregious. We're talking like 30,000 plus. And so what I did is, and the reason why I'm prefacing this with he hasn't been on Twitch in many years, he hasn't had the time to accumulate a lot of followers on Twitch. So in a span of 3 months, which is what I'm going to put the data on, he should gain the most followers compared to people with his viewer count on average or less. Correct? Right?
True.
If other people have been there for a long time, they won't be gaining much more followers. It's like a diminishing returns type of thing. Like you blew up, you're as big as you are, you're going to slow down in growth. And that's why the first two people I'm comparing are Neon and Asmongold. So Asmongold, he has multiple accounts. I think he has the Asmongold account, and he has this account called Zach Roar. And this account averages
30-something.
really, sometimes I see him 40,000, 50,000. But his main Asmongold account has almost 4 million. So we're going to compare the Zach Roar account, which is his second account that he streams on more frequently, to Neon, and we're going to take it to 3 months on the performance summary. So Zach Roar averages 41,509 viewers, and he gained about 30,000 followers in the past 3 months. Neon, on the other hand, over the past 3 months has averaged 20,000, which is about half, and he's gained 131,000 followers. So he's gained 4 times as many followers as Asmongold, right? Okay. But when we go to the recent streams for Zach Roar, because he averages 41,000, which is a lot more than Neon. Let's just take a stream from October 12th, or actually October 11th, right? For Zach Roar here. Do you see how his view count looks? So if you go to the first 8 minutes of his stream in that chart, you see the viewers are 17,000. And then for him to get to 20,000 takes about 20 minutes. And then for him to get to his peak viewers, which is, let's say, 43,000, it took him 3 hours. And it's either growing or it's just staying the same. And then you can see it drop when he starts playing Battlefield 6. But he still maintains about 30,000 plus. But that drop is because a lot of those people were interested in just chatting, and they just dropped. So he changed categories. People weren't interested in the game, and they left, which is fine. That's understandable. But when you take a look at Neon, and let's take a stream from him for October 10th, it is the same all around. So the content is just chatting. Or actually October 11th. Let's take October 11th for Neon because that's where that chart happened. So it's just chatting all across the board. And within 5 minutes, he's at 39,000. So he's got significantly less followers. You can even say you've seen probably Asmongold a lot more than you've seen Neon. So this guy's got, within 5 minutes, he's got 39,000. That's almost his peak. His peak was 45, which he got within 30 minutes. And then he drops. He drops from 40, he drops like 6K all of a sudden.
Bro, that's
and then
crazy.
at 2 hour 45 mark, he's at 46K. And then in 10 minutes later, he drops 10,000. But nothing changes. The category doesn't change. The content doesn't change. So why is there such a massive drop-off? And people believe it's because of the view botting. But that's just 2 comparisons, right? Let's bring in somebody that has been actively streaming, which means he's had a lot more time to accumulate followers on Twitch, that has a similar average view count to Neon. And we'll look at their 3-month stats. So you've got Jason Lewin, who phased Jason.
Oh, okay.
He gained 324,000 followers over the past 3 months, whilst Neon has gained 131,000. And then we'll bring in another individual, Adapt. Adapt within the past, and the reason why I made it the past 3 months instead of 7 days or 30 days is because I do believe that the subathon has increased the amount of followers that these guys are going to get because they're live for 24/7. They're collaborating with each other. So perhaps some people that have only watched Adapt, they'll watch him, and then now they're getting acquainted with other members of FaZe, and they're like, you know what, this guy's pretty cool too. I'll hit him with the follow. So I think their follow counts will be the highest the month of the subathon. That's understandable. So I scaled it back to 3 months to give us some better data. But he's gained twice as much with nearly half the average viewer count that Neon has. So why isn't Neon growing at the rate that these guys are growing? It's very weird considering we see Neon nearly everywhere. Neon has celebrities almost every stream. Like, these guys aren't really doing that on their regular streams. And my conclusion is that, yeah, hell yeah, he is botting out of his mind. The problem here is that I'm not sure if anything can be done, and I don't think anything will be done, because what's going to happen? Other streamers can shame him or outcast him, but he's already outcasted by other streamers. He's already not buddy-buddy with other streamers or cool with other streamers.
Yeah,
people can talk about it, but talking about it will only make Neon more known to people that don't already know him, so it may grow his actual view count. So really, I wouldn't say this is definitely not a victimless crime. There are for sure victims, but this goes back to what Trainwreck was talking about in a video that I did a couple of days ago, where he says that streaming is egregious because viewbotting is egregious right now because people always used to viewbot. Let's say somebody had 500, they might viewbot to 1,000, maybe 1,500. But he's saying now people are adding 10, 20, 30,000 to their view count. And it's just, Neon, if you just had to ask, if you just told me to guesstimate, right? If I had to guess how many viewers Neon actually averaged, it would be under 10,000. It would probably be 6,000 max, just by the chat behavior, just by the followers that he gains, things like that. Because his numbers suggest that he's elite. I mean, if, like, for example, let's take a look at Queso, right? Who's one of the biggest streamers in the game right now. In the past 3 months, he's gained like 400,000. But even when he starts a stream, like if we were to look at a stream of his from October 10th, right? Within the first 6 minutes, he's got 26,000. But that's not his peak. He doesn't hit his peak until 2 hours and 46 minutes later, which is 60K. So he's got slow and steady, like it starts, it peaks, or like he'll get the first influx of viewers, but his average is far higher than what he hit in the first couple of minutes or first 15 minutes. He doesn't hit his average view count until, hell, like an hour plus into the stream. Yet his max is 60,000. However, Neon is just overflowing with viewers immediately. People are just anticipating every stream for it to spike up. Nah, that's not the case. So I think it's grimy that Neon is doing this, but he doesn't lose by doing this. That's the problem. There's no negative outcome. Why would he stop? Other than like, oh, this is bad. He doesn't care. He's just trying to get more lit. And it probably works too when other people come on his stream, the celebrities, and then they're like, oh yeah, we got 35,000 people live right now. And they're like, oh, whoa, that's a lot of people live. Yeah, it's not a lot of people considering how slow the chat moves. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Hey, man. I ain't gonna lie, that shit is fucked up, but there isn't... I don't know, this shit is probably out of niggas' control. I ain't gonna